Making sense of annuities right now on Retiring Today. Welcome to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson with Chawn, Honkomp, and Loren Merkle. They're both certified financial planners and certified financial fiduciaries. Chawn is also a CPA. Okay, guys, we promised to make sense of annuities today for people. Annuities a hot topic right now, Loren.
It's a hot topic because of where interest rates are and what this stock market is doing as well. People invest money in the stock market. They see it go up and down. It's a presidential election year, so there's a lot of volatility. People are wondering, where do I put my money with any kind of safety? Annuities can provide that, and people are being talked to about annuities. Well, what does it all mean? Yeah, what does it all mean? And that's what you try to help people do, Chawn. You sit down with them, they're getting ready to retire, and you talk to them about different levels of safety and risk with their investments. And I like the way you kind of put annuities in that conversation.
At every stage of life, all of us are making investment decisions and designing that portfolio. And to simplify things, when you have those opportunities to make those decisions, your options really are to take risk or to go get safety and guarantees. And then within that risk categories, it's options that we're all familiar with: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and then we can still control how much risk. But then in the safety and guarantee categories, think CDs, think money market, just holding on to cash. And then when it comes to annuities, some annuities can fit in that safety side of things, and some of the annuities can fit into that risk side of things.
Yeah, and we'll get back to defining those two annuities. We just saw the fixed and the variable. But first, let's go annuity 101, just the real basics of an annuity.
From a really high level, basically what an annuity is it's a product that's offered by an insurance company that offers you some level of guarantee. And typically that guarantee is going to be based on the income that you could receive that is guaranteed and backed by the full faith and credit of that insurance company. A lot of times that income is going to be guaranteed over the course of your life, but it also can be period specific, maybe for a 10-year, 15-year period of time.
Okay, and then let's go to those variable and fixed annuities and define those for people.
Those are the two main types or different ways that annuities work. You've got the fixed and the variable. And when you think about fixed, it is kind of what it says. Think about CDs, where you can get a set interest rate. So you can have a fixed annuity that is guaranteed just like 3%, for example. Or you can have a fixed one that maybe tracks an index. So it's a little different than what that CD would do and how it would perform, but still fixed. And then when it comes to variable, there's a few more moving pieces to it. The variable annuities can still have all of their underlying annuity or investment options, like mutual funds and different investments that can go up, can go down, so it's not quite as fixed as the other category would be.
Okay, so I heard Chawn say CD. I just want to make sure people understand that a fixed index can work sort of like a CD. Similar, because it's not a CD, but a CD is often what people are weighing, a CD versus annuity, which is best for them.
Yeah, the CD oftentimes is issued by the bank, which is FDIC insured. The annuities are offered by an insurance company. Both have guarantees. The insurance company doesn't offer the FDIC insurance, but this is why this conversation is so popular right now, because from an interest rate standpoint, we're at 15-year highs. And so when you walk into your bank, you're seeing CD rates that you haven't seen for a very long period of time. In fact, 2 years ago, remember in 2022, you walked into the bank and you almost laughed at the bank because they were offering you only about 0.5%, whereas now you walk into the bank and you're seeing numbers like 5% on guaranteed money coming from the bank, and you're saying all day long. And we're seeing a lot of people just shove a lot of money to the bank in the CD thinking that 5% is fantastic, and it is. The key is how do you take advantage of these interest rate environments we are in today to lock this high interest rate benefit to you in for a longer period of time? Because what happens when the CD matures? Most people think about interest rates are going to go down prior to them going back up, and most people don't think interest rates are going to stay at this level for a significant period of time. So if you invest your money at a bank for 5% over the next 12 months, and 12 months from now your CD matures, when you go to renew that CD with interest rates going down instead of 5%, you might be able to get 3% or something like that. So with us facing this kind of interest rate environment, what can we do to take advantage of the higher rates that we're offered right now? we have to look at CD alternatives for our longer term retirement money. The CD, the 12-month CD at 5% all day long for your shorter term investments. If you need to use money within the next 12 months, that's where you go. For your longer term retirement money, let's look a little bit longer and what we can do with investments today to take advantage of this rate environment. There's a lot of different alternatives to CDs. What we're going to focus on today is the fixed indexed annuity. Fixed stands for the guarantee. It means your principal investment cannot go down. It's backed by the full faith and credit of the insurance company. The index is related to the performance that your investment is going to receive. There's a lot of different types of index. One of the most common indexes that people will use would be the S&P 500, and that's what we're going to show you in this example as well. And an annuity just stands for the type of product it is, again, issued by an insurance company backed by the full faith and credit of that company. So let's say you invested in a fixed indexed annuity and you use the S&P 500 index to determine your performance. And we go through a year like 2022 when the S&P 500 was down about 20%. In the fixed indexed annuity, the S&P 500 is still down, but your investment is not. So you get a 0% rate of return on your money, and you're happy that you didn't lose the 20% or anything. What happens in years when the S&P 500 is up? Now, you didn't get any of the down, so your downside is capped, which means your upside is also capped. This year, or in a year where the S&P 500 is up 15%, you don't get the full 15%, you get 10% because it's capped. Now those caps can change. Right now there's many caps that are around that 10%, so this is realistic now, but it can change year over year. Also want to show you what happens if the S&P 500 is up, but it's up under what the cap is. You get 100% of the S&P 500 performance up to the cap. In this case, the S&P 500 is up 6, the cap is 10. You get the full 6%. So the fixed indexed annuity or alternatives like this can provide you the opportunity to take advantage of the higher rates for a longer period of time. There are maturities to the fixed index annuities. They do vary, typically 7 to 10 years. But if you can lock in something like this for a 7 to 10 year period of time for your longer retirement money, what an incredible advantage to you as opposed to putting it all into a 12-month CD and 12 months from now, interest rates being down. Taxes are also a big consideration because the taxes you pay on your investments are going to directly impact the amount in your pocket that you get to spend. And the way a CD is taxed is different than the way a fixed indexed annuity is taxed. You invest your money into a CD or a fixed indexed annuity, and let's say you get 5%, doesn't matter which one. The fixed index annuity over the long haul of that investment, the idea is to get more than what you would at the bank, but let's just say you get 5% on both of them. $100,000, 5%, you receive a $5,000 return on your investment. With the CD, that $5,000 is taxed in the year you received that. So you will pay taxes on that interest. Let's say you're in the 22% federal tax bracket, which means you're going to pay $1,100 in taxes, which means you only get to keep $3,900 of that gain. So instead of a 5% yield, your effective yield, the yield you get to keep, which is the one you care about because that's what you get to spend, is only $3,900 or 3.9%. Compare that to the fixed index annuity where the $5,000 interest you receive is tax deferred, so you don't pay taxes on that in that particular year. Eventually, when you take that money out, you will pay taxes on it. The benefit to you, though, is you receive $5,000 this year. Any of the return you receive the next year is building off of that $5,000. It's a compounded growth effect, which means over the course of that investment compounded, you should be able to do better than a taxable type of investment like a CD as well. To the tune in this example of about $1,100 up in this one particular year. Again, with that annuity, eventually when you take the money out, you are going to pay taxes on it. There's all different types of annuities, but we have to get creative in this environment so you can take advantage of this interest rate environment for many years to come, as opposed to potentially just this year or for the next 12 months while interest rates do stay near 15-year highs.
Okay, guys, there's three things I want to talk about when we come back. I want to talk about the taxes, because that was something you don't read in a lot of the articles about annuities. Let's also talk about the value of CDs and how a fixed indexed annuity can be used long term. Before we get to that, though, we want to answer questions from you that we receive from our online Journey to Retirement workshop. That's next.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to MerkleRetire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
The Merkle Retirement Planning Team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning Team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I'm here with Chawn, Honkomp, and Loren Merkle. This is when we answer questions that we've received from you during our online Journey to Retirement workshop. Here is a question that we received recently. What is the highest Social Security payment, Chawn?
The benefit any one person receives will vary depending on the age at which they elect Social Security. But if you retire here in 2024 and elect your benefits at your full retirement age, your maximum benefit would be $3,822.
If you retire at age 62 this year, your maximum benefit would be $2,710.
And these stats, of course, are from the Social Security Administration. If you retire at age 70 in 2024, the maximum benefit is $4,873. So you might wonder what the average payment is. The average payment that people receive right now for Social Security for 2024, the average Social Security payment, though, guys, is $1,907. So there is a big gap between what most people receive for Social Security and what the highest wage earners receive. So let's talk about those highest wage earners for just a moment, Chawn, because for them, the Social Security benefit really adds up over the lifetime.
Yeah, we see it often where for a couple, they can expect to potentially receive up to $1 million or maybe even more than $1 million in total Social Security benefit. And if you're a single individual, you can expect to get up to $500,000 or more in total Social Security benefits.
And we know that's just what some people receive, but we've talked about those ages. We talked about 62, we talked about full retirement age, but it's more than just electing at a couple of different ages. There's a lot of choices.
Many people would be surprised that you actually have up to 81 different options when it comes time to elect your Social Security. And that's why we're talking about Social Security so much to the families and individuals that we serve, because you have been paying into this system for what, 35, 40 some years. Now it's time for you to maximize your return, get the biggest return on your investment as you possibly can. Take advantage of all of those options at your disposal to make sure that you're getting the most you can out of Social Security.
Yeah, and we just threw out some numbers, guys, that I find just interesting, right? Averages for 2024. But when you sit down with individuals or families, Chawn, you don't throw out averages, you don't throw out 2024 numbers, you help them with their actual numbers of what they will receive when they retire, and you build it into their comprehensive retirement plan.
That's exactly right. As we're building that plan, this is part of the plan, it's part of the income plan, and we want to know exactly what your benefits are and we can help you do that analysis so that when you go to make that decision, you're going to feel really good about it. So if we're dealing with a couple, we want to look at both of those options and know that what those options are at the different ages and different stages of your retirement journey, and then maybe analyze them. Maybe it makes sense for one individual to start and we delay the other one for a while. If you're a single individual, this is a big part of your plan as well. This is guaranteed income. For as long as you're alive, we know we're getting that payment. So we want to feel really good about that decision and understand what it can mean to somebody through a 20, 30, or 40-year retirement journey.
And I'm glad Chawn mentioned a couple, because there's a couple that I like. It's Chawn and Sue. I like Chawn and Sue because they're the stars of our Journey to Retirement workshop. But I also like what you guys do for Chawn and Sue, because you quantify it for them. You don't make it a guessing game. You don't make it an elect and then let's see if it works. You show them 3 different options for Social Security, and there is a big difference between option 1 and option 3 in the workshop.
When we talk about the rest of your life, the stakes are high. So we can't make this a guessing game. You have to know that you're making the right decision for you when it comes time for you to elect Social Security. And that's exactly what John and Sue do in our online workshop. We show you the different options that John and Sue have and the way they go about selecting which option they ultimately select. And because they look at all of the options, John and Sue look at all the different options they have, they're able to get an extra, wait for it, $93,000 just out of their Social Security benefit alone over the course of their 25-year projected retirement. That is significant money, especially when John and Sue, probably just like you, have some very specific retirement goals that you're trying to figure out how are you going to finance? How are you going to be able to finance your trips and what you're trying to do with your grandkids and maybe the legacy plans that you have from the resources that you have? Social Security is a resource almost every single person has. Now, how do we get the most out of it?
If you want to see how John and Sue get an extra $93,000 out of Social Security, you've got to see our online Journey to Retirement workshop. There's some information on your screen right now. Here's what you need to know. Go to retirewithmerkle.com or use the QR code on your screen. Then when you get there, you can choose a time and a date that works for you, and then get ready to go on a journey to retirement. Because our retirement planners don't just talk about Social Security, they talk about all of the other decisions that John and Sue have to make that they've never made before. And I promise after you watch it, you will feel like you are more ready for retirement. We're going to get back to that annuity conversation next.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning Team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I'm here with Loren Merkle and Chawn Honkomp, and we promised to come back to annuities because we want people to learn about annuities, feel like they have some questions they could ask their advisor about annuities. And one question to ask the person you're working with, Loren, is about the tax implication, because I think that is the part of annuities that often does not get discussed.
That's a question that you need to consider with any type of investment product. It should be a big part of your overall plan. If you invest in product A, an annuity, how is that money going to be taxed? When are you going to be taxed? What does that mean to your bottom line? If you invest in a product like CD, when are you going to be taxed? How much are you going to be taxed? How does that impact that? Because the answers to those questions will impact the decision you make when it comes to your product selection.
And one thing I want to go back to, because I know you wanted this to make this an important part of today's conversation. You don't want to bash CDs. You think they have a time and a place, and we don't want to bash annuities. They have a time and a place, like every kind of investment.
Yeah, a CD or an annuity is not right for everybody, and there's a lot of people who would never want to use a CD, or maybe never is a little bit strong, but maybe you would prefer in this moment in your time not to use a CD or an annuity. So it's not about the right annuity, it's about what product is going to work for you at this phase of your life for what it is you're trying to accomplish. You need to have a purpose behind your product. And that could be a CD, it could be an annuity. What we're talking about in this show is right now is a good opportunity to use CDs for shorter term money. If you need money to purchase a vehicle within the next 12 months, ideal place for that money is a CD where you can get 5%. But if you have money that you're not going to need within the next 12 months, why not put that into a vehicle like an annuity where you can take advantage of the high interest rates that are being paid now for a longer period of time. And then that way, 12 months from now, when interest rates are probably down and the banks are saying, we're not going to give you 5% on your money anymore, it's only going to be 4 or 3 or 2, you have this long-term retirement money that is making more potentially than what you're going to make at the bank.
And Loren said purpose behind investments. That's a key, because you've heard some sad stories or some adverse annuities that just plain were not a good fit for people, and then they get into contracts that are hard to get out of.
It's extremely important to understand the purpose. Anytime you go to make a decision, no matter what investment option you select, understand the purpose, understand the fit, the why. A conversation I find myself having a lot is there is no perfect investment out there. If we could build it, it would be all upside, no downside, zero cost.
I like that one.
That sounds really let's get that one. But that doesn't exist. But as we make these decisions within your total portfolio, you can get all of those components. So that's where, as you're analyzing all these different options, we've got to understand the purpose. You want to make sure that you know the why. So if you're going to say yes to something, make sure you understand, what's the trade-off for what you're going to get. Every option out there has good components and bad components. Like I said, the perfect investment doesn't exist. So make sure you have the information you need, understand purpose, fit, and the why, and then how you're meant to or set up to use it as time goes by.
Let's get back to annuities, though. Most specifically, Loren, what are some questions people should ask before using this type of an investment?
What's the purpose? How are you going to use this to benefit you over the course of your next phase of life, whatever phase that is? What are the surrender charges? All of the annuities do have surrender charges or surrender periods that come with them. Oftentimes you're going to see you have to keep your money underneath that annuity for a 7-year period of time or a 10-year period of time. And a lot of them do allow you to take up to 10% out each year to do whatever you want with. So those are the details you need to really learn about before you invest in a product like an annuity. So it's very similar to a CD. Just like the CD, you put it at the bank and they say, okay, we're going to give you the 5%, but you need to keep it here for a 12-month or 36-month period of time. So there are constraints around all of these different types of investments. You just want to make sure that you understand what they are, what the cost is with each one of those investments, and then you can make better decisions.
Yeah, and that leads me to quote unquote old annuities. So when one of those annuities expires or the contract is over, do you automatically renew, or what should you look at before you renew an annuity?
When we get through an annuity and now we become out of surrender or it matures, well, now we have an option. Now you're at a point where you have an investment decision to make. So you might have really enjoyed that experience. It might be a fit, but that's where you want to step back and again, look at the total portfolio. Don't just look, let's say you have $100,000 in an annuity that comes fully out of surrender today. We don't want to just look at that $100,000. Let's look at the overall plan, look at your total portfolio, and then make a brand new decision and say, hey, maybe this is a good fit. Maybe now we're at a position where we want to take more risk. Maybe we want to take more than $100,000 to this type of strategy and have some more of that safety and guarantee. So don't just auto-renew. Don't just assume. Take a step back and look at the entire portfolio.
And it's because of that, a good way to think about all of these decisions is if you don't have a plan, don't purchase a product. Make sure you have a plan in place first so you know what the purpose behind whatever product you use, whether it's annuity, a CD, stocks, bonds, ETFs, whatever it is. Make sure you have that plan in place first. The plan is going to tell you how much risk you need to take to accomplish your goals, and then you'll be able to identify how much risk you feel comfortable with. All of that information is really going to help you determine what types of products do you use: annuity, no annuity, CD, no CD, or a combination of all of these different investment options that are available to you. It will take the guesswork out of this array of investment options that are available to everybody. It'll make it much more certain.
And one of the first steps to understanding what a retirement plan looks like is to see the workshop, because the workshop that we have, the online Journey to Retirement workshop, will show people what a comprehensive plan looks like.
The Journey to Retirement workshop is a wonderful resource to help you get started. One of the biggest questions we have is, what is a retirement plan and how do I get started? So that will give you an opportunity to learn a little bit more and hopefully help you take that step one, because you got to take step one before you can get through that. And what we do is we help people focus. If you're age 57 or older, or thinking about retirement, or thinking about the first thing you want to do is that first Monday is just sleep in, then this is the right opportunity for you to think more about that and start helping you get more and more prepared for your retirement journey.
Okay, if I watch the Journey to Retirement workshop, why will I be glad that I spent that time, Loren?
Because it's going to give you a whole lot of information that you probably have not had access to, especially in a consolidated point like the online Journey to Retirement workshop. Our proprietary retirement plan is called the Retire Secure Roadmap, and there's 6 pillars that you need to be aware of as you make this plan for your retirement. We talk about the lifestyle pillar, which is all the fun stuff that you're going to be doing in retirement, and then the other 5 pillars are the financial ways that you're going to be able to accomplish that lifestyle plan. The income, tax, healthcare, legacy, investment pillars are all a part of that. That is all together in that workshop, and we take you through John and Sue's experience of how they align each one of those pillars to accomplish their retirement goals.
You can sign up for the Journey to Retirement workshop by going to retirewithmerkle.com. Once you get there, you can choose a time and a date that works for you and get ready to go on a journey to retirement. This is Retiring Today, and we thank you for watching.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.